Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तम् तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियं येन्द्रियग्रामम् सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम् मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अथ ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततः मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि।
Text தான் போறோமா? Very good. Yes.
So first question is, what aspect of sattva to be retained and what aspect of sattva to be eliminated since sattva 2 is to be transcended?
Question. In relation to the three gunas, sattva guna, which aspect of sattva should be transcended? Which aspect of sattva has to be kept? Retained. All three gunas, some aspect of it has to be transcended, some aspect has to be retained. In the 14th chapter, he says, Jnana Sangena Badnadi Sukha Sangena Bharata, he says. So Sattva Guna binds through attachment to Sattva Guna binds knowledge, attachment through knowledge and happiness. Whatever be it, we'll go and discuss there. I'm not elaborating that now. The attachment of Sattva Guna is what you have to transcend. Sattva Guna is this. You have to transcend attachment to knowledge and attachment to happiness itself, which itself is studied as a topic in 14th chapter. The 14th chapter, he says, what is the bondage of Sattva Guna, what is the bondage of Rajo Guna, and what is the bondage of Tamo Guna. Now, the bondage of Sattva Guna, he says, is attachment to knowledge and attachment to happiness. Whatever be that knowledge and happiness, in that flow we will discuss. I'm not elaborating on that, but the answer is yes. Sattva Guna also has to be transcended. That's why he says liberation is transcending the three gunas, Guna Atita. So that's why Sattva Guna also has to be transcended. But the problem is, don't worry about transcending Sattva Guna now. Don't ask that question about how to transcend Sattva Guna. Worry about transcending Tamo Guna and Rajo Guna. Sattva Guna takes care of itself. That we need not.
So what has to be retained?
The effort that you make to eliminate Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. You have to make an effort to eliminate Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna, which is aspect of Sattva Guna, that has to be retained. Therefore, constant effort to eliminate Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna has to be maintained. That's all. You follow?
Second. So along with Shraddha in either materialistic living or dharmic living or karma yoga living or sannyasa living, what else comes with me when I die? I mean, not me, anybody.
Along with Shraddha, in Dharma, Karma Yoga, living or sannyasa living, what else comes with me when you die? I don't understand why people are getting so interested about what is going to come after death. Yeah, I don't know how many times this question is coming up in the last few times, again and again and again. What all the list is given out is what is going to come. Nothing else is going to come. What is the list that is given that will come? The karmic effects. Punya and Papa will come. The Shraddha will come. We have studied this in detail. Reference, go back to 8th chapter. When Arjuna asked the question, we answered that question and we studied that also in detail. Are you able to follow? In some places we give references. The actual elaboration comes in the 8th chapter, where Arjuna asked this question, what will happen halfway through if I die? For which detailed elaboration is given, and then what will be your next birth also, he says. You will be born in the family of wise yogis, or all that he has said already. Now, to summarize all that in bullet points, what will come with you? First thing that will come with you is your karma pala. Karma pala in the form of Papa and Punyam. Number 2. The second thing that will come with you is how much of Shraddha you have. How much of Shraddha you have developed. Shraddha means the guna proportion will come with you. Whatever guna proportion you have, that will come with you. Very loosely, we will say knowledge, ignorance come. It's a very loose terminology. Actually, what comes is the karma pala will come. Karma pala in the form of punya and papa, that will take you to the corresponding environment. Second is the Shraddha, with which whatever Shraddha you have developed, that will come. Whatever knowledge and ignorance you have developed will come. Ignorance means how much you are materialistic by nature. Knowledge means how much you want to be dharmic by nature. That proportion will come. Are you able to follow? Other than that, there is nothing else that's going to come. Other than that, there's nothing that's going to come. Therefore, we need to worry about what? Karma phala you need to worry about. How much of conviction you have developed in the scriptures is what you have to worry about. In the Upanishad, there is a very beautiful Upanishad, Svetasvatara Upanishad. That Upanishad says in chapter 6, mantra 23, Svetasvatara Upanishad, he says, what will come with you? Yasya deve parabhaktihi, yes yata deve tata gurau. Very beautiful mantra. He goes into a beautiful elaboration of that. Now, what it means is the two types of bhakti will come, he says. The bhakti that you have developed towards God will come. The same intense bhakti that you must develop towards the Guru also, that will come. Svetasvatara Upanishad, chapter 6, mantra 23. Very beautiful mantra. That too, that Ishvara Bhakti and Guru Bhakti makes you qualified to do Vedanta Vichara. Therefore, in order to do Vedanta Vichara, that Ishvara Bhakti and Guru Bhakti combined must come. Even without Ishvara Bhakti and Guru Bhakti, you can study Vedanta. Even without these two, you can study Vedanta. As in a university professor. You can also study, you can be interested in the ideologies, you can be interested, oh, it is very nice to hear some of these principles here as very useful. Therefore, little bit I can take here, there, everywhere and use it in. Yesterday, so they were asking me in the afternoon, Raj, I was thinking about you only at that time when they asked that question. Advaitic principle in entrepreneurship. Do you have a topic like that? Have you done PhD in that? They were asking me, Advaitic ideology in, how can we use this Advaitic principle in entrepreneurship, sir? I was, instinctively the answer came, you should ask Dr. Raj Shankar. I don't know, I was about to, instinctively it came. Now, what can you do with this kind of things? Are you able to follow? So that way also you can study. But then the Upanishad says that Deve para bhaktihi, Gurau para bhaktihi. So the para para means the just as we say para karma, para vidya, bhakti also is para bhakti and apara bhakti. In the Mundaka we studied about para bhakti, para vidya and apara vidya. In karma we talk about para karma and apara karma. Similarly, bhakti also has these two distinctions, para bhakti and apara bhakti. Now, Svetasvatara Upanishad says you must have that para bhakti. That will come with you. Why? Because when that comes, you will be qualified for this Vedanta. You will be qualified for this Vedanta Vichara. Vedanta Vichara means transformation will happen. You read a book, you hear a discourse, like Swamiji goes on saying, penny drops, change will happen. Yeah, no, penny drops, change will just, yeah. Very important is to develop these now, because this is what is going to come. This is what is going to come with you. I also said, no, I can get up after the class. Hopefully it doesn't happen like that. I'm praying. New Year also, we should say some good things in New Year day. We should not say all. And what is it? Eid Mubarak, no? We should say something good on these days. We should not say all wrong things on these days. You can get up, hit against a corner, in a split second, you can forget everything. Svetasvatara Upanishad will be forgotten, your name will be forgotten, what to do, what to not, we'll be blabbering something. Now, what happens to all that effort? This will go, but something will come. What is it that will come? These are the factors that will come. So, Deve Parabhaktihi, Guru Parabhaktihi. That is the Upanishad. From that only the Parabhakti, Aparabhakti distinction and all develops. Because the way that he is using the word Parabhakti, what is Aparabhakti then? So later on books elaborate that. That Upanishad will not bother about explaining. They'll just make some statements and they go away. You follow? These are the factors that will come. Is there a difference between enlightened person and Avatara Purusha? Or are they the same? Enlightened person, we can see Avatara. First, I'll explain Avatara Purusha. Avatara means what? The meaning of the word Avatara is what? One enlightened person is ascending. Avatara is descending. Again, enlightened person means ascending. Ascending the Sharira, from Sharira Buddhi to Jiva Buddhi to Atma Buddhi. So enlightened person is ascending. Avatara is descending. What is descending means? What does descending means? That's where all Puranic stories will talk about God descending into a form. God descending into a form is Avatara. And so understand it as two. There are two levels. One is ascending and descending. Avatara Purusha belongs to the category of descending, not ascending, because when they enter the Sharira only, they are perfect, enlightened. When they enter the Sharira only, they are enlightened. One. Number two, not only they are enlightened, the extraordinary powers they can display. So Avatara Purusha is a very rare category. That's where in the all enlightened persons we will not call as avatars. Even though today everything is mixed up everywhere. We really don't know who is who, what is what. But then the scriptures have a very clear distinction. Avatara Purushas, we always bring in only divine characters. Enlightened are the human beings ascended into ascending and descending. Out of devotion, all disciples will call their guru as Avatara Purusha. Out of devotion, all disciples will call their guru as Avatara Purusha. Like for example, we will say Shankaracharya is Avatara Purusha. Why? What that man achieved in 32 years. Impossible for a single human being to achieve it single-handedly. So you see some who has been achieving extraordinary things like this, apart from enlightenment also. Enlightenment is one's own salvation. Avatara Purusha is Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuttanama dharmasya tadatmanam shrujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Avatara has a very specific purpose, trying to restore the balance. Whenever the balance goes away, some divine existence will come and they will restore the balance. They are called Avatara Purushas. Are you able to follow the difference? Enlightenment doesn't have that. Ultimately, they may also restore, but then they don't have that as a purpose. Avatar Purusha has a very specific purpose. Rama said, I have decided to be in a human body. I will be like a human only. They said, no, you are that. You are the Parabrahma yourself. He said, I don't know what you are talking. I have decided. That is Avatara Purusha. Are you able to understand the difference between Avatara Purusha and enlightened? Now, Avatara Purusha, restrict Avatara Purushas to a story. Don't take Avatara Purusha and project it on a human being. Never make that mistake. If you make that mistake of taking an Avatara Purusha and putting it on a human being, it will be utterly chaotic. So what do we do in tradition? Avatara Purushas is specifically restricted only to that divine descending. That's where we say Vishnu descends, Shiva descends. We will never say a human being descends to become an Avatara Purusha. It means the concept of Avatara has to be very, very clear. Follow ascending and descending. And Avatara Purusha are Avatara Purushas. To summarize, Avatara Purusha, we don't categorize them as humans at all. Humans at all. Divine is temporarily in a human form. It is purely a matter of Shraddha. Don't try to bring in your logic and reason and all here. Either you have Shraddha in it and believe, or just ignore it and go. Doesn't make any difference. But don't try to reason and understand these things. Either you have Shraddha and say, this is Avatara Purusha, go. Or you say, no, I don't believe in this thing. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter. Leave it. Nothing will change. I will follow the difference. So Avatara is ascending, enlightenment. Yes, Avatara is descending, enlightenment is ascending. Is it okay? Yeah. Bhakti Yoga, Arjuna asked a question. What is the question he asked? Is one set of people are worshipping the Vishwarupa form, another set of people are worshipping the formless. Which of them who is superior? This is the question. Now we are analyzing that question. Very basic human weakness this is. Who is best? Very, very basic human weakness is to go and ask, who is the best? And then if I say this is the best, I will want to copy that. So who is the best? Either this person or this person. First Krishna will say this fellow is best. And then 2 mantras later, 2 verses later, he will say this person is best. And now you are utterly confused, not knowing who is best. Because the very question itself is wrong. The right question is, based on your assessment, Krishna, what should I do? That should have been the right question. Should I follow Vishwarupa Bhakti or should I follow this Bhakti? What do you recommend? I'm willing to follow that is the question. But that's not what he is asking. What he is asking is what? One person is worshipping Vishwarupa, another person is worshipping the Nirguna. Of the two, which is better? It means it implies very clearly that he has not understood the sequence and growth that happens through bhakti. He has not understood the sequence and growth. From Dvaita Jnanam, you go to Advaita Jnanam. Similarly, from Dvaita Bhakti, you mature into Advaita Bhakti. Is Dvaita better or Advaita better? Is Dvaita Jnanam better or Advaita Jnanam better? Question itself is meaningless. No, independently, what is best? Independently, both doesn't exist. Without the Adhikari, conceptually, Dvaita and Advaita doesn't exist without the Adhikari. Like so many people ask, no, sir, we're not asking about the Adhikari. Concept, ideologically, what is better? This is not communism versus capitalism. Ideologically, what is better? Dvaitam and Advaitam is not ideology. The Dvaitam is one Adhikari is the Dvaiti, another Adhikari is the Advaiti. Similarly, one Adhikari performs Dvaita Bhakti, another Adhikari performs Advaita Bhakti. Are you able to understand the distinction? Now the question that he is asking is what? Who is best? Now what to answer to him? No answer can be taken. But then certain disciplines is given. Beautiful disciplines he goes on, 35 qualities he gives as disciplines. Later on he gives, and then in the 18th chapter, 67, he combines all the disciplines. In the 18th chapter beginning, he says, Yajnadana tapas. In the 18th chapter beginning, he combines everything and say, do Yajnadana tapas. Too much for him to follow that Yajnadana tapas. Therefore, in verse 67, when he is concluding, he says, beautiful shloka, idam te na tapaskaya, meaning tapas, bhakti, susrusha, anasuya. Four qualities he gives. Anasuya means you must be utterly incapacitated to find a fault in somebody. That is anasuya. Today, we all have full of asuya only. Full of asuya. Asuya means you can find fault in, you can find, just like that you can find fault, and people take pride in that also. Sir, I can, just like that I can spot, sir. I said that is asuya. What is there to be? That's asuric quality. What is there to be having pride about finding fault? Anasuya. Yeah. People have names, no? Anasuya. Anasuya means very beautiful quality. What is Anasuya? You can't find fault. You can't find the fault. Okay. You are not dumb. Please understand. You are not dumb. Happy and blessed are when wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of a guide. This is Anasuya. This is Anasuya. This quality we should develop. But then we don't have it. Somebody makes a remark here, somebody says something, somebody doesn't say something. You get so upset, and you can carry that vengeance in you for, janmas also, isn't it? People say, no, we are parampara. We are enemies for parampara, sir. Enemies, sir. Susrusha. Yeah, beautiful quality, Susrusha. What he called in 4th chapter as the qualifications. In the 4th chapter, he said, Advidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. What he called as seva in chapter 4, he elaborates it as Susrusha in 18th chapter, 67. It is Susrusha. Beautiful quality, Susrusha. Yeah. Susrushana service nartham. Yeah. Yeah. Susrushana, one who performs service. tapas, bhakta. What we are studying is that bhakti now. What is that? Bhakti is what we are studying. Na tapaskaya, na bhaktaya, na susrushave, nachamam, yog, anusuyati. Idella irundaka, if you have not done tapas, na means if you don't do this, 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 in the naalum pannadavanta poi Bhagavad Gita pesada, he said. Meaning in English. Whatever I said in Tamil, now I have to translate it in English also. It's a multilingual translation class it is. Yeah. First you have to say in Sanskrit and then translate it in English and then translate it in Tamil and then go backwards and forwards beyond a point. The machine is getting confused. What language are you talking? It's asking me now. What language are you talking? If you don't have these four, you must not teach Bhagavad Gita. Meaning, you can teach. What it means is it will not give the benefit. That's all. What it means is you should not teach means it will not give the intended benefit. What is this bhakti now? Arjuna is not able to understand the sequence. What is the sequence? In a very broad sense, the sequence of karma is what? Akarma, sakama karma, nishkama karma. That's a broad sequence. Now, don't compare this with whatever we said as Nitya Naimitika Karma and ask another question now. Yeah. Homework, in a very broad way, in third chapter, he says, no? What did he say in the beginning of third chapter? Akarma krita. So, akarma. So, inaction, desire, so akarma, which is inaction, not doing anything at all, from not doing anything at all to doing something to fulfill your desires, and then, so, akarma, sakama karma, nishkama karma. If there is a sequence in karma like that, obviously in attitude also there will be the same sequence. Because action and attitude going together, in attitude also there will be the same sequence. Are you able to follow? Now, in attitude also, what is the sequence? No bhakti. Yeah, no bhakti. Sakama bhakti. Nishkama bhakti. Are you able to follow the difference now? That just as we get sakama karma and nishkama karma, sakama bhakti and nishkama bhakti. Akarma madri na bhakta. அதுதான் 18th chapter சொல்ல. இப்போ அகர்மான்னு 18th chapter சொன்னா அபக்தின்னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. இல்லையா? சும்மா ஆன்னு போட்டுனே இருக்கக்கூடாது. இல்லையா? You should know where you should say where you should put where you should put na எல்லாம். அதெல்லாம் சன்ஸ்கிரிட். Don't worry. We will சும்மா by heart a few things. சங்கர் சும்மா by heart பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க. GDல அடிச்சு விடலாம் நீங்க. இல்லையா? They will think oh, you have become another Shankaracharya. இல்லையா? அகர்மா na bhakta. Abhaktan சொல்லக்கூடாது. In the 18th chapter, that's where I quoted the 18th chapter, verse 67, where he says, na bhaktaya. So, na bhakta, akarma. So, akarma kila you put abhakta. And then we say, sakama karma, sakama bhakti. Nishkama karma, nishkama bhakti. You are able to follow. இது ஒரு group. இது ஒரு group. What is that group? Akarma, sakama karma, nishkama karma, na bhakta, sakama bhakti, nishkama bhakti. This is one group. இதெல்லாம் Dvaita category. Distinct and different from that is another category. இதுக்கு மேல ஒரு category இருக்கு. There is another category which is distinct and different from this. Who are they? They are the ones who worship the Nirguna. They are the ones who can focus on the Nirguna, which is Advaita. Of the two, who is superior, he is asking. Are you able to follow the question? Of the two, who is superior? is Nishkama Bhakti superior or Nirguna Brahma worshipping superior? Are you able to follow? In the initial stages, a person not having bhakti at all will be told to have bhakti. A person, why bhakti is very important? Why bhakti is very important? Only in bhakti the ego will bend. Without bhakti, ego cannot bend. Full stop. Take it or leave it. Humility and all will not come. No more. I'm a very, even without worshipping God, I'm a very humble person, sir. It's drama. It's not possible. Why? Because in order for your ego to bend, you must be willing to consider that there is somebody, something which is superior to you in all aspects. Are you able to follow? Again, carefully follow. Yeah, I'm in a wrong sequence today. I don't know why I got dragged into this angle of discussion, but anyway, having gotten into it, we'll go through it. Having gotten into it, full of Mushra. Without bhakti, ego cannot bend. Why? Ego feels what? I am supreme. Ego says, I am supreme. On the field, our supreme, in the field, na supreme. Isn't it? In that area, that person knows. In this area, he's an expert in that, and I am an expert in this. What a humble person, sir. This is what world will clap and give you a honor of. You are a very humble person. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will laugh at you, saying you are just being very egoistic. No, I'm just being very factual, sir. How can you be factual? For you can never become an expert in anything. You can never become an expert. Therefore, for ego to bend, what is needed? What is needed for the ego to bend? A all-powerful entity is needed. Only when there is an all-powerful entity in front, you can bend and bow down. Simply, you can't say bow down, bow down, bow down. It will not work. So, in order to bow down, you need that's where God is, the Ishvara is called, God is called as Ishvara in Sanskrit. Ishvarana, not Paramashiva. Not that Shiva of what we call as Shiva. Ishvara means the supreme. Saguna Brahman equals Ishvara. Put it like that. Sequentially. Still I am debating. Should I detour or go back into the same sequence? Still I am debating. As I am talking, I am debating within myself also. Or the update distract pannilama. What is that Ishvara? Who is that Saguna Brahman? One who is best in everything. It means there is an entity that is supreme most in everything, and you can never ever surpass that. This bends your ego. That's where God as Ishvara is very important for ego to bend. Because the purpose of bhakti is to bend your ego. Yeah. For an egoistic person, Advaita is very fulfilling, Advaitic knowledge, because he can go around saying, I am God. No. He will come back and say, actually, I'm practicing Vedanta already, sir, because as it is, I'm thinking I am supreme. Now, Vedanta has said, I am God also. Therefore, what? I am supreme? God, he will laugh at you because you have completely missed the point. Therefore, bhakti, the essential aspect of bhakti is the capacity to bow down. Are you okay till now? In order to bow down, that entity must be supremely knowledgeable, supremely powerful, supremely compassionate, all that qualities you put it, and then you bow down. Are you okay till now? That is moving from na bhakta to bhakta. Is the sequence okay? And that one is supremost. Why? Because if there is a law, obviously there is a, if there is a law, there has to be a lawmaker. There has to be a law creator. Not only it's a law creator, the law creator has to ensure what? The law is maintained. Create the law, maintain the law, and also give appropriate rewards. When you obey the law, an appropriate reward. When you violate the law, appropriate reward. What is that reward, appropriate rewards? Sukham and Dukkham. All this we see happening in creation. From this we project. What do we project? There is an entity which is all powerful, all knowledgeable, all compassionate, all affection, etc. and all that. Are you okay till now? When you are exposed to that God, and you are not yet matured, carefully follow. You are exposed to that God, but you are not matured. Without maturity, if you are exposed to a very powerful person, very resourceful person, without maturity, if you are exposed to a very powerful, resourceful person, what will you do? What will you do? Sakama Bhakti will come. Sakama Bhakti will come. What is the example of Sakama Bhakti? A very famous example that we keep repeating again and again and again. Example of Sakama Bhakti. You have an access to the powerful person and you are not yet matured. Naturally, what will you want to do? You'll want to make use of that, isn't it? What is that example? You remember that example? Correct. Exactly correct. Prime Minister train ticket confirmation. Yeah. You know the Prime Minister, you have access to the Prime Minister, and you go and ask him for what? Beautiful example it is, isn't it? You go to that Prime Minister and ask for what? Train ticket confirm. At least you should go and ask him, send me a train. No. He can send you a train only, he can send you. But you will go on. That is Sakama. That is Sakama Bhakti. It is okay. But then what is said is, don't be stuck here. Move. Don't be stuck here. From Sakama Bhakti, move to Nishkama Bhakti. Whatever the Nishkama Bhakti is, I'm going to elaborate that also. And although I said that the Vaishnava, Vanaman, and Cham, but having gotten into it, might as well finish the sequence. Kalatur. 6 மாசம் கழிச்சு, don't say you are teaching all the wrong things in the class. 6 months later, he will come and make a statement like that. First is, remember that there is a get acquainted with God. Obviously, you are not matured. Will an immature person require acquaintance with God, or a matured person require acquaintance with God? You can't put the cart before the horse. So an immature person will have acquaintance with God. Therefore, first is what? God with the form is given. Are you able to follow? God with the form is given. And then you are told to offer prayers, etc. Will prayer work, sir? Another problem. Will prayer work? Will action produce a result? Amit, will action produce a result? Yes or no? If you say action will produce a result, you can say, you must say prayer will give benefit. Are you able to follow? Because prayer is an action. The result is dependent upon how sincere and how dedicated you are. That is there. But action will produce a result. Now, prayer being an action, it will produce result. Now, what can you pray? I think in the 7th chapter, again, he divided them into rendu goshti or birchar. Yeah. Artha, artharthi, jignasu or goshti. Jnani, another goshti. Yeah. Artha, artharthi, jignasu, one group. And all of them come under the category of Sakama Bhakti category. And then he went into Jnani Bhakti Nishkama. Are you able to follow? Therefore, sequence. First, you think you are supreme. And you think human beings around you is supreme. And you think wealth is supreme. You are not able to conceive of a all-powerful entity which you can never ever surpass. Once that comes, your ego bends. Your ego bend in reverence, or your ego can bend out of fear. Doesn't matter. First, doesn't matter. First bend. Mostly, we'll always bend out of fear only in the first stages. And it is better to bend out of fear than not bending at all. Why? Because fear is the first regulation. For maturity means discipline. Maturity means disciplined person. What is maturity? Means the one who doesn't have anasuya, etc. What all we discuss, all this is maturity. Now, a person who doesn't have this maturity will worship. A person who doesn't have this maturity has to worship a form, a god. To that god, you will go and ask, give me this, give me this, give me this. And God will tell you what? God will tell you, I will give you. God will not say, I will not give you. God will say, I will give you, provided you do according to the vidhi, according to the law. Are you able to follow? So, Sakama Bhakti will produce result if it is done according to the prescribed rules. Sakama Bhakti will produce result if it is done according to the prescribed rules. When people come and say, no, sir, but in Bhakti, Bhavam only important, no? The moment you bring in Bhavana, the moment you bring in Bhava, you have moved away from Sakama to Nishkama. In Sakama Bhakti, what are you seeking? Some material goal. In Nishkama Bhakti, what are you seeking? Chitta Shuddhi. You can't, bhavana, which is useful only for Chitta Shuddhi, will not fetch you material results. Now what people will do is, they will have Nishkama attitude. They think you can have a Nishkama attitude and ask for Sakama result. Will it happen? It will not happen. Why? Because in Nishkama Bhakti, you have a privilege. What is the privilege? Rules and regulations can be violated. Patram, pushpam, palam, toyam. You can put anything. Rules and regulations can be violated, and the result you will get of Chitta Shuddhi. In Sakama Bhakti, you can't violate the rules and ask for the result. In Sakama Bhakti, you cannot violate the rules. What is the rules? Ganeshana Durva Yukmam dam kudukanu. You can't go and say, anyway, it's only attitude that matters. No. And I give whatever I want to give to Ganesha. You cannot do that. You can do that, but you will neither get both. Therefore, people come and say, prayers don't work, sir. Say, no, prayers don't work because in Sakama Bhakti, the result is entirely dependent upon how much you stick to the rules and regulations. You have the freedom to lay down your own rules and regulations only under one condition. What? Nishkama Bhakti, where you are asking only for Chitta Shuddhi. Are you able to follow? People get completely mixed up. The teacher is mixed up, the student is mixed up, everybody gets mixed up, as a result of which what happens? Blind leading the, as a result of which blind leading the blind. Therefore, Sakama Bhakti will prayer work, will going to temple and doing puja work. What is the answer? Yes or no? Yes, it will work provided it is done according to the prescribed rules. Nishkama Bhakti has a freedom. What is the freedom? There is no prescribed rules there because the result that you are seeking is Chitta Shuddhi. Are you able to follow the difference now? Patram Pushpam Palantoyam is for whom? Is for Nishkama Bhakti. In Sakama Bhakti, you have to find out what will Ganesha like. What will Ganesha like? See, wherever the rules and regulations are not violated, result you can see happening very much. You follow? Okay, I'll give you a very simple example. The richest so-called Hindu god, for all there is a god called Hindu god. The richest Hindu god in the planet is who? Huh? Tirupati Balaji. Yeah, Tirupati Balaji is the richest Hindu god. Poor man. You know what he eats every day? What is his food? You think laddu, no? He doesn't have laddu, bundi, we only eat. We only have that laddu. We only have that. We only eat all that. What does he eat? What does he eat? In a mud pot. In a mud pot, curd rice. Because the man living in the mountains, who will go up the mountains? Who will go up the mountains? You and me will go up the mountains. Who will go up the mountains? Shepherds only will go. When the shepherds go, what will they carry with them? When the shepherds go, what will they carry with them? Laddu, chakra pongal. Will they carry all that? What will they carry? They carry only yesterday's rice in a pot. And when they saw Balaji, and Balaji said, this is what I will have. And as long as this rule is not violated, you will be blessed. So even today, if we want his blessings, we should not go and offer him anything else. Yeah. Nishkama Bhakti is Shabari. Yeah, Nishkama Bhakti, Shabari only has the freedom for Nishkama Bhakti. You understand Shabari, no? Yeah. So Rama will come. There's no guarantee Rama is going to come or not. Rama will come one day. Sweet food. How do you know? Pata sweet therima. If you look at the fruit, will you know whether it is sweet or not? So she bites. This is sweet. She will keep it. This is sweet. She will keep it. Juta it is. You must not give it to God. Sakama Bhakti. In Nishkama Bhakti, Rama will say, I only take it. Yeah. The rules and regulations are very, very. Out of syllabus, sir. Prasad. 35 years I am listening Vedanta. Out of syllabus, sir, you are teaching. I have never heard All this before soladingo. There is the saint to know. There is the saint who's the hunter. Kannappa Nayanar. You know his name. Lord Shiva required eye transplant. You know that? Amit. That's the story. Lord Shiva required eye transplant. Shankar Netralaya refused to give him appointment. Because contacts illa avarku. He didn't have enough contacts. Yeah, even God needs contacts. No. Yeah, so Lord Shiva, the Netralaya is run in his name only. Yeah, he comes in and says, you are running it on my name. People say, we don't care. At least the lift man you should know here. Yeah, Shiva said, oh my God, but eye transplant needs to be done. He had no contacts in Shankar Netralaya. Therefore, he went back and he was crying. The hunter saw, went and asked, what happened? He said, Kannu pochi. He said, oh my God, for that you are having a problem. I will give you my eyes. He said, okay. Shiva said, okay, give. Then Shiva asked him a question. If you pluck your eyes, how will you know where to place it? Suppose, see, you pluck your eyes, where will you know how to place it? Yeah. மூக்கு வைக்கிற இடத்துல போய் கண்ணு வச்சிடக்கூடாது, கழுத்துல கண்ணு வச்சிடக்கூடாது. Yeah, you should know where to place it rightly. No. What will you do? Oh God, I tell you, that man has bhakti. That man has bhakti. Whoever has it knows life. Yeah, that man. So instantly what he did? Anybody knows that story? Instantly what he did? He took his leg, the big toe, and placed it on the eyes. He took the big toe and placed it on the eyes of Shiva so that he can track. I did all these experiments. I'm not asking anybody to do this. Ganesh, இதெல்லாம் ட்ரை பண்ணாதீங்க. அப்புறம் ஐசியூல இருந்தா I don't have time to come. Yeah, don't try all these things. In the bathroom, try this. Full of soap in your face. You can't open your eyes. And then go 2-3 rounds backwards and forwards. Your sense of direction is lost completely. How will you track where the tap is? I used to do all that. That's why I am mad like this, I think. I used to do all this. How will you track? Isn't it? You have to trace the wall and then only. Now, he can't do that. Kannappa Nayanar could not do that. So what he did? Oh, the most sacrilegious act. He took his feet and placed his left big toe on the eyes of Shiva so that you can easily track through your body. So what he did, he plucked his eyes through the body. He knew where his big toe is and placed. This privilege is given only to whom? This privilege is given only to Nishkama Bhakti. Because in Nishkama Bhakti, what are you asking? In Nishkama Karma, what are you asking? Chitta Shuddhi. So, Nishkama Bhakti also by default, what will you be asking? Chitta Shuddhi. Therefore, the person who's asking for Chitta Shuddhi has certain privileges. The problem today is we want all these privileges while being we want the privileges of Nishkama Karma Bhakti while being fully selfish and self-centered. And then come and say prayers don't work. Idallam Bhakti Yoga introduction is still going on. Yeah, first number 1, Bhakti Yoga. Are you able to follow? So, Nishkama Bhakti at its peak is what? Nishkama Bhakti at its peak is what? Everything is offered to divine, to God. Everything is offered to divine, to God. They talk about the saint. In Islamic tradition, they talk about that saint. I'm trying to remember the name. I couldn't remember the name. Long back I read that. He walked on the street and said, bring out the best to clothes, bring out the best to footwear, bring out the best to food, for God is coming tomorrow, for God is coming tomorrow. So the whole lot brought out the best to the center of the town because God is coming. And then he asked, and everybody asked, where is God? He said, Anal Haq, I am God. I am that God. He was crucified in a much cruel form than Jesus Christ. You know, in history, thousands and thousands of crucifixions have happened. You know that? Jesus Christ is not the only person who got crucified. Thousands and thousands have got crucified. And Anal Haq, this man is another way of, he was crucified in another way. How he was crucified? A long iron pole was kept. Okay, take a crowbar, Gadapara. A long iron pole was kept and he was made to lie on that. That's his crucifixion. What happens? What will happen to this man? Gravity will slowly bring the body down, correct? And the gravity brings the body slowly, just gets pierced. And he kept on saying, Anal Haq, Anal Haq, Anal Haq. The girl was standing there crying, looking at him. I said, I was looking for you, waiting for you to learn this knowledge, and what have you done to yourself? He smiled at her at that time. He smiled at her and said, this is the price you need to pay. This is the price you need to pay. Are you able to follow? This is bhakti in its, purest form. Are you able to follow? Nishkama bhakti. This itself is looking so far-fetched, no? This itself is looking so far-fetched, but impossible to conceive is that Advaita Bhakti. What is that Advaita Bhakti? Formless worshipping. Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. Are you able to follow now? That Saguna is Ishvara, etc. This is that. And Nirguna is superior than that. Now, what is superior than that? 15th chapter, he says that. Clear? Ksharashchashara Uttama Purushas Anyaha Ksharashchakshara Evacha. 15th chapter, he is going to see as Kshara, Akshara and Uttama Purusha. So, Nirguna Brahman is Uttama Purusha. Ishvara is a Saguna Brahman. Now, the question is Saguna Brahman superior or Uttama Purusha superior? What will be your answer? What is your answer? To whom? Supposing if you say Uttama Purushana, you have missed completely Nartham. Go back to chapter 1. Start from chapter 1 all over again. If you have said Uttama Purusha, immediately you should have asked what? To whom? For a na bhakta, sakama bhakti. For a sakama bhakti, nishkama bhakti. For those who are stuck in nishkama bhakti, Advaita will come and ridicule that. Therefore, Advaita alone has the power to ridicule bhakti. They are not ridiculing bhakti, they are ridiculing the attachment to the bhakti. Now what had happened is, people who didn't understand the sequence rightly, even theoretically they didn't understand the sequence rightly, nor experience. Please understand, unless you have a spiritual experience, the sequence cannot be known rightly. Theoretically, you can never know all these sequences. சொல்லி கொடுத்தா கூட புரியாது இதெல்லாம். Are able to follow? Now, those who have had some spiritual experiences came and said, don't get involved in, just as they said, don't get involved in karma, they said, don't get involved in bhakti. But it was misunderstood and mistaught as what? Bhakti itself is bhakti evanam. Bhakti itself is not needed. If you say bhakti itself is not needed, you have to say action is also not needed. Because action and attitude goes together. What was criticized is, the bhakti is not criticized, the attachment is criticized. But then conveniently what we took, I have heard this people telling me any number of times, any number of people. And I always used to wonder that somewhere we are making a mistake. At least I felt like that. People, sir, before Vedanta, I had lot of bhakti, sir. After Vedanta, bhakti is gone, sir. I go back thinking somewhere the teaching is wrong. More and more Vedanta you are studying and practicing, more and more bhakti you should have. But then people, so I used to go back thinking, where did the mistake happen? Where did the mistake happen? Are you able to follow the sequence? Arjuna is having the same problem like us. What is the problem? In the bhakti, adu superior irukudilla. Which bhakti is superior? Nishkama bhakti is also inferior compared to Nishkama bhakti is also inferior to the supreme. What is Nishkama bhakti? Definition of Nishkama bhakti, verse number 22, chapter 9. Ananya sintayantoma mejana paryupasate esham nityabhiktanam yoga kshemam vahamiham is the definition of Nishkama bhakti. Ananya chinta. Because you are having ananya chinta about God, you are pure so much that you don't have to worry about rules and regulations. Yeah. If you don't have this ananya chinta, rules and regulations are must. Now the question that Arjuna is asking is, since the Shastras keep talking about these two all the time, the question that he's asking is, of the two, of the two type of people, who is best? Is worshipping you as Saguna Ishvara is better, or worshipping you as Uttama Purusha is better? He is not asking which is better, he is asking who is well versed in yoga. Yeah, who Saguna Ishvara or Uttama Purusha worshipper, who is well versed in yoga? Is the Arjuna's question. I never ever thought I will talk about all these sequences one day. It just came out today. I don't know. Romba confusing are the erase this class. Forget it. Don't bother too much about all these things that he said. Stick to your convictions and keep doing whatever you are doing. Akarma, sakama karma, nishkama karma to nishkama karma in the transcendence and nishkama karma in the transcendence, which is a state of liberation itself. Are you able to follow? Similarly, na bhakta to sakama bhakta to nishkama bhakta to transcendence. Whoever has mastered nishkama karma, nishkama bhakti is called as a sannyasi. A sannyasi, that's why he says, sannyasi says, I don't need these rules and regulations. I can do in whatever way I want, because he has already transcended. Arjuna obviously didn't understand this, the sequence. Therefore, he asked this question. What is the question? Who do I consider? Who is better? Saguna Brahman or Nirguna Brahman? Worshipping, those who are worshipping Saguna Brahman are better, or those who are worshipping Nirguna Brahman is better? Who worships Nirguna Brahman? Sannyasi who says, I am Atma Brahma. Are you able to follow? Sannyasi who will say, I am Atma Brahma. Those who worship Saguna Brahman will say what? There is Dvaita there. There is God is supreme than me. I need to obey the law. I need to attain Chitta Shuddhi, etc. Of the two who is well versed in yoga? That's the question. Clear? Answer படிச்சிருங்க ஒரு வாட்டி. Verse number 2. Read the answer.
श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ताहुपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ताहुपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः।
The Blessed Lord said, those ever steadfast devotees who fixing mind on me, worship me, endowed with supreme Shraddha, them do I consider best in yoga? Answer. The Blessed Lord said, those ever steadfast devotees who fixing mind on me, worship me, endowed with supreme Shraddha, them do I consider best in yoga. Now he's giving the direct answer. And then he's going to elaborate the answer. Now, what is the answer that he's giving? Those who have this Ananya Chinta and worship me, here when he says worship me, indicates what? Worship me indicating worshipping the form, not Brahman here. Worshipping me in the form, them do I consider best in yoga. Yuktatame yuktatama mataha. Yuktatamaha, they are best in me mataha, in my opinion. In my opinion, answer number 1. He's going to give 2 answers. Answer number 1 is Saguna Ishvara form worshippers, Vishwarupa worshippers are best. That is the straightforward answer. But then he kept a small window for the second answer also. How he kept the small window for the second answer? Me mataha, in my opinion. In my opinion. What does this in my opinion means? What does this in my opinion means? It's a very specific answer given to Arjuna and Arjuna types. Again, it's a very specific answer given to Arjuna and Arjuna types. Aveshya. Aveshya means having fixed firmly. Nitya yuktaha, ever steadfast. Shraddhaya upasate. They worship me with Shraddha, fixing the mind on me. So ever steadfast devotees, connect them to Ananya Chinta. Ever steadfast devotees who is having this Ananya Chinta endowed with supreme Shraddha. Paraya Shraddha, supreme Shraddha, not ordinary Shraddha. Supreme Shraddha. What is that supreme Shraddha? What is that supreme Shraddha? Shraddhanale, it is that. Then why this adjective Paraya? Supreme Shraddha. Remember what we said sometime back in today's session. Supreme Shraddha as in an entity which can never be surpassed. Are you able to follow? An entity that can never be surpassed. That is Supreme Shraddha. This entity that can never be surpassed is where the Visishta Advaita Siddhanta comes. Between Dvaita and Advaita. Visishta Advaita Siddhanta comes and says, you become par, but one or two things you can never ever surpass. That is supreme. That is supreme Shraddha. Those ever steadfast devotees endowed with supreme Shraddha, them do I consider best in yoga. He just slipped in the word Mataha, opinion. Opinion, Mataha, comes from the word Mati. Mati means the Buddhi. Mati means Buddhi. Yeah. தமிழ்ல கூட அந்த பேர் வச்சுக்கிறாங்க இல்லையா? மதி அழகன்னு பேர் வச்சுக்கிறாங்க இல்லையா? மதி அழகன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? அவரோட புத்தி ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம் இல்லையா? புத்தியே இல்ல, அது வேற கதை இல்லையா? That's a different story altogether. Yeah. That Mati, out of inference, says what is relevant to this person at this point in time. That's why it's called opinion. So, the intellect giving a specific advice that will work only for a specific period of time is called opinion. Mati. Mataha. Now, the English word opinion may feel like saying it's my opinion means this is what I feel like. No, not opinion in the sense of feeling. Opinion in the sense of what? A very truthful, relevant, practical advice given to a person at a given point in time, which will work only for a period of time. Advice that can work only for a period of time to a specific person, because following that advice, if you outgrow that, then the advice becomes redundant. This is called opinion. He says, the question is what? Form worshippers as in Vishwarupa worshippers, or formless as in Nirguno, Nishkriyo, Aimatma, Brahma worshippers. Of the two, who is better is the question. Are you able to follow? Of the two, who is better? Who is well versed in yoga is the question. What is the answer? What is the answer? Vishwarupa worshippers are better. Better, best, isn't it? The best lang kadeve kadiyad. Better. I know at time comes where you transcend all these things. That's all. So the answer, very, very beautiful answer he gives as in saying, who is best? Mayi Aveshya. The word Mayi is equated to Vishwarupa, we said. On what basis? Connecting it to 11th chapter. Because sometimes we say in me means Brahman, we say. In some context, whenever we say in me, we call it as Brahman. In some context, we are saying Mayi Aveshya. This Mayi comes from where? Continuing from chapter 11, Vishwarupa. Manaha Aveshya. That Aveshya comes from the root Vish. Vish is the root, etymology. Vish is the root. It means to enter, to go inside fully, completely. Vish means to enter, to go inside. Because of all the Sanskrit thing, you add that a, it becomes Aveshya, which is said fully absorbed. Okay. Aveshya means the mind has lost its ability of swinging. Mind has a natural thing to swing, isn't it? Mind keeps swinging. What is the swing? Affectionate to the person half an hour back, hating the person half an hour later, and then coming back and saying affectionate, and then hating, they are swinging. This is the swing. Aveshya means this natural ability of the mind that swings stops. What is this fully absorbed? He gives a beautiful example, and we will continue next week. Beautiful example he gives. Fully absorbed. What is fully absorbed? You take a glass of water and you put kesar, saffron. What happens? Try it out. You take another glass of water, a drop of ink. What happens? When you take kesar and put, only one part gets colored. The whole water will not turn color. You take a drop of ink and put, the whole thing gets colored. That is Aveshya. Fully absorbed. Fully absorbed. Meaning what? You don't have space for anybody else in your mind anymore. That's Aveshya. Your mind has no space for any other objects being anymore. Yeah. Even if you leave a little bit of gap, the asura, the world will just enter and sweep you out. Therefore, Nitya Yukta Upasate, what are they worshipping? They worship with that Avesha. Yeah. தமிழ்ல ஆவேசம்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? இல்லையா? In Tamil, Tamil Avesham, I don't know. Telugu also has this word Avesham, no? Sami Adramgalku the Avesham, they say, isn't it? Those who are like possessed. Yeah, possessed. Avesham the Adrangappa, we say. Yeah. He's saying, அந்த மாதிரி ஆடணும்ன்றாரு. சார் இப்படிலாம் நாங்க பகவத்கீதா படிச்சதே கிடையாது. யூ ஆர் டீச்சிங் அஸ் ஆல் ராங் பகவத்கீதா. யூ ஹேவ் நெவர் இல்லையா அவர் சொல்றாரு மை ஆவேஷனா ஆவேஷக்கு ஃபுல்லி அப்சார்ப்டுன்னு என்ன அர்த்தம் சாமி ஆடுற மாதிரி ஆடுவாங்க. மைண்ட் டோட்டலி கவர்ட், டோட்டலி அப்சார்ப்டு பை லார்ட், வேர் தேர் இஸ் நோ ஸ்பேஸ் ஃபார் கேப்பே இல்லை. அதனால வேற யாருக்கும் அங்க இடமே கிடையாது. பட் சார் அதர்ஸ் ஆர் ஆல்சோ தேர். நோ சார், I have to attend to them also. No sir. Okay, go, doesn't matter, leave God, go attend to them fully first, get exhausted and then come back. Don't try this 50-50 here, there and all. Don't yeah, half an hour devotion, 23 hours, 30 minutes be in the world. Allah, don't try. Nitya yukta, always. Evam satata yuktaye is Arjuna's question. What is Krishna's answer? Nitya yuktaha is the answer. Evam satata yuktaye, he asked, rendu worshipa. He's saying, no, there is only one. What is that one? Fully absorbed in me always. They are called Nitya. That is called Upasana. That's where the traditional word for the traditional word for bhakti is Upasana. Upasana. Chair போட்டு பக்கத்திலே உட்கார்ந்துறணும்னு அர்த்தம் இல்லையா? Upasana means keep your seat next to God. When you have kept your seat next to God, now what does it mean? You are refusing to go anywhere else. Yeah. That is Ananya. That is Ananya Chinta. Yukta Tamaha. They get Arjuna. Who? Me Mataha. In my opinion, these Vishwarupa Upasakas who has this Aveshya and Parashraddha, they are the best. Take it or leave it. They are the best is the answer. And then there are, as always, we will always have too many things to everything that he says, no? Yeah. As always, we have too many things to say. Yeah. And some more is there, which we will continue in the next session. There are some more things also to this answer, which we will take up in the next session. So he said, Mai Aveshya Yuktatamaha Shraddaya, Parashraddha. So Parashraddha or condition. Aveshya, Parashraddha is a condition. Aveshya is another condition. Yuktatamaha is Nitya Yuktaha, Yuktatamaha, steadfast. So Aveshya, Parashraddha, steadfast in worshipping me as Vishwarupa or superior in my Mataha opinion. This is the answer, which will continue next week.